And that whilst your purpose
that you've signed up to
changes, your
and we share together
changes from
is
time
to
time.
be your best in all you do.
And greatness can only be measured by the difference between before you showed up and after you showed up. If I look at the number of people whose lives have been transformed by your voice, that's how we measure your greatness.
So my name is RMOB. I'm a digital strategist to business leaders. That's just like a one-liner encapsulating everything that I do. Because like Simi said, I happen to be one girl that God has given so many talents to. And to the glory of God, I've been able to find expression for everything, almost everything, because I know we always emerge. You are never really there. You keep emerging and keep knowing who you are and what God has sent you here to do. So yes, you're welcome, welcome, welcome. So before we begin, can somebody tell me something about content? Have you heard of content before? This isn't good. I'm trying to, give me a second, please. Let me just take a short pause to do this. I want to be able to read your chats. All right, seen it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Holy Spirit. All right, hi Namdi, nice to meet you. Hi everyone. Okay, content is something productive one has to offer. Amazing, amazing. Do we have any other person? What is content? Can you tell me what content is? Do you have an idea of what content is? Okay, so I'll wait for every other person. So content is any kind of information that you have with an objective to inform, educate, inspire, motivate, convince, or even teach someone. So content is, like I like to say, is the air your business breathes. So if you're not building content yet, I'm going to tell you just how you can fill the lungs of your business with some air. Stay tuned and hope you have a pen and a sheet of paper, or at least a book, to write down everything you're going to learn today. So now we move on straight to content creation. What is content creation? Content creation, so we don't waste, oh, okay, Namdi, nice, you're a copywriter. Gang. The creatives in the building, thank you for that. So content creation is basically you taking this idea that has, formed up some content. So you're taking the idea and taking it through some process, generating the ideas so that it fits your buyer persona. The first speaker, Sarah, said something about the persona. Tolu said something about persona, your target audience. But we'll get to that in a minute, because there is nothing, you can't sell anything if you don't understand why you're in business and who you're in business for, right? So that is basically what the buyer persona is about. So we'll get to that in a minute. So now it's all about creating something that appeals to the buyer persona using your written or visual, setup around that idea, and ensuring that the information is accessible to the audience through infographics, blogs, videos, or it might just be on your website or on any social media platform, so that's basically the introduction. So let's get right into the business of the day. So now you've seen that there. We have all of these platforms. These are the platforms we use to share our information, to share our content. I was speaking with one of my mentees yesterday, and she was so bothered about how she couldn't create content for Instagram and Facebook, and then she felt she was going to suffer so big, and like she felt her business was going to suffer for it. And then I told her, I said, you need to know where your clients are, because it felt like she has struggled for so many years. So I said, you need to know where your clients are. I need, peradventure, they're on Instagram. How do you reach them? How do they want you to present your content? You might be presenting it in a very static way and they're not finding it interesting. There are ways of making your content interesting. And that's what I'm basically talking about here, how to animate and all of that. So let's move on to the next one. Now, content creation. Now you can just see that there. Okay, it's just it's a process. It's just the way you put ingredients together to create, let's say, an amazing cake, red velvet, if you will, that's basically the step. It's the same thing. Your content creation is, yeah. So fantastic. Your content creation is all about identifying that idea and converting it, using it to teach. You can write about it. I know by now you already say, oh, doesn't she know that creating content is not simple and all of that? Yes, it's not simple. Believe me, it teaches you to have patience. But doing it really impacts your business. It helps your business to a large extent. In fact, there's this recent research that proves that creating quality educational content for your clients can make your clients buy from you. I think they graded it up to 131%. Like, your clients can make, it takes up to that percentage for your client to make up their mind and buy your product. So if I were you, I'll be creating something already, because your clients are just waiting to read or watch something or probably listen, in case you're sending it through a podcast. So they're waiting to get something very interesting from you. And it's very important that you know how your clients want to connect with you. They are there, but they don't know about you, but they are there waiting for that content. So you might have heard how important content creation is to the growth of your business. But as you see throughout this session, you realize that it's important for you to not only have that content or an idea, but it's important for you to have a well-planned purpose built around your content creation. If you don't have a purpose for your content, you might stop somewhere in the middle and then just burn out, right? So it's very important that you understand why you're in business and who you're existing for, and then you create a plan around it. Okay. All right, we're back. So why is content creation important? I mean, I've already said that so many times. I've talked about how it's important for you to connect with your clients and how that translates into cash. If you don't create content, your clients won't know you exist, and then you won't make any sales, right? Isn't it? So content is a large part of our everyday life. Like, content keeps us informed, entertained, educated. It helps with our research. It helps with everything. You can just type somewhere and ask for how to make cornrows, the DIY on how to make cornrows on your head just by yourself, and you'll see the steps there, detailed to the T. So content creation helps you in so many ways. It helps you attract, it helps you engage, it helps you delight. I love that aspect of content creation, because your clients watch it with a smile, because they're seeing so many things and they're just so excited because of what your video or your audio or your written content is doing to them. It might just make them happy, it might make them laugh, it might make them more knowledgeable about a certain topic. All right, so that is why it's important. But just in case you're still wondering how this even concerns you, but I'm here to tell you something. Okay, let me ask you these questions. Is your mind buzzing about a particular Bible verse? Pardon me, I'm a God girl to the teeth. I can't do anything without God. So you hear me mention that so many times in this session. So in case is your mind buzzing with a particular passage you read in the Bible this morning, and you're itching to share it with the world, you're itching to share it with your followers, you're itching to share it with someone, just keep that answer. You can just type it. Let me see. Yes, yes, no, no. I want to see your chats. If your mind is buzzing about it, then let's go on to the next question. Are you excited about sharing it with people? Are you excited about turning it into a blog, into an email, into a video, into a social media post, into a podcast? If you're excited about it, then you, my friend, are a content creator. We are all content creators. And there's something content creation does for us. It helps us first to build brand awareness. This is essential for any and every business. Simply put, you're not going to grow your company if nobody is aware of your existence. I love this quote, and I hope I put it well. Just let me just paraphrase. It says, not building your content or not putting out content is like winking at a girl in the dark. That babe is not going to know that you're winking at her. So that's the same thing with your content. You need to push content out there. Content creation helps you announce your brand to those who need your brand. Amazing, isn't it? So the next one is educating your audience. I mean, it is what it is. If you want people to learn about how to maintain hygiene in this pandemic, you put together some words. If you don't want your face to show, I always say this, send your words on assignments. Type it all out. You know the steps. If you're a doctor, you're a medic, or you're someone who you're informed about how to take care of yourself, or how kids can take care of themselves. You want to create some infographics, or you want to create a short video telling people how to wash their hands and all of that. You can put all of that together. You can put all of that together, and it will educate your audience. And then they'll keep visiting because they want to know what other educational content you've put out there. And that always, most of the time, translates into cash. Of course, they patronize you just in case you're selling sanitizers. If you're selling sanitizers, then you want to put out video content on how to maintain hygiene in the pandemic. If you're selling nose masks, you want to show people how to wear this mask, how to take care of the mask in case it's the reusable type. So you always want to inform your buyers, you want to inform your audience about how to use these things. And then you pitch it, bam, I sell masks, at the end, come and buy. And of course, because they were impressed by the video or by the audio of your presentation, they will most likely click on the link. So contact also helps you sell the experience. Sells the experience, your potential. I'm leaving the nurturing leads for last because there are some other things that I added to it. So you'll see why in a minute. So it helps you sell your product experience. You are not selling a product, you are selling experience. Always present the solution your product is providing when you are creating content. Put it out there, what you want people to see that they will benefit from the usage of your product. It's very key. And content creation helps you with that. Then the next one is value. Content creation helps you to build value. And one thing about value is that your content shows that you know what you're talking about. It shows that you're knowledgeable in what you're sharing. It shows that you not only have mastery, over that field, but that you are prepared to share that mastery with your customers in a way that benefits them. It's just like the sanitizer that I just talked about. So you're not just selling the sanitizer, but you're helping them to know that, hey, I'm selling this thing because I know it's going to keep your hands clean. It's going to help your kids stay safe in school. You get what I mean? So it helps you present that value. It also helps you with customer retention. Customer retention is a big one, right? Consistency through regular content updates. Ensure that you're keeping your name in front of that customer. That's what it does for you. So consistency is what helps you when you're right there in the present, always there, presenting one form of content or the other. There's something they also call it top of mind awareness, because each time they see, they know, oh wow, Dr. Cheese at it again, or oh wow, Tunji is at it again. I can't wait to watch, to listen in, or I can't wait to watch what he has to share today. So it helps with customer retention because they will always be there waiting for that next thing. And this helps you to attract and nurture, leads through various search engines. You will learn how to do all of that in a minute. So now I want to talk a bit about, all of that. So let's go straight. I don't want to waste so much time so that we gain as much as we can. So yeah, we are here, the leads nurturing. It's just like planting. Leads nurturing is similar to gardening in so many ways, but I highlighted 5 main ways. And the first is gathering off your equipment. Now, you gather your equipment, you gather your content, And it's the same thing. You don't start planting until you get the watering can, you get the seeds, you get the soil, you get the container, or of course the container to put the soil in. If you have a garden in your house or something, you plan all of that. And that's the same thing with content. You don't just dive into content creation. You need to know what you're creating first and foremost. So gather all your resources, gather, put all the research together till it makes sense, and that's how it's similar to planting. And then we have preparing of the soil. And for content creation, it's the list segmentation. I'm sure somebody is like, what's she talking about? What's list segmentation? Okay, before you actually start sowing your seeds, you need to prep the soil, isn't it? Now, before you launch your lead nurturing campaign, which is your content creation, before you launch it, you should segment and optimize your contact lists. You already have some form of contact lists. Check it. Go on Instagram. Go on Facebook. Check your contacts, your address book in your phone. Check it. There are some people that are always contacting you about a particular thing. You have that contact list. Sit down, put it together. That is you preparing your soil. So you're not sowing where you shouldn't. It's very important that you understand where your people are. We're getting to that in a minute. So before you launch, put it together. And list segmentation helps you to avoid rejected emails, bounced emails. It helps you to avoid unsubscription in case someone had subscribed before, you don't get in their face. Because if it's someone that doesn't want you to do repeated email blasts and include their emails, they'll get really, really mad. And the next thing for them to do is just to hit unsubscribe. So, putting together your list, putting together everything, all the people that need your services, it helps you better reach those who can become excellent leads. Is content king? I know somebody had shared the expo before. I want to see your responses. Is content king? Yes or no? The first yes. Oh, thank you very much, Buki. Yes, yes, yes. Toyi, Agatha, Tolu. Yes, in capital letter. Content is definitely king. And this particular phrase came from, okay, so I think I just jumped the gun, but I'm sorry about that. So the next one is nurturing your leads, which is just like nurturing your plants. We'll get to content is king very, very quickly. Nurturing your leads is just like nurturing your plants. You're ensuring that it has the necessary sun, the necessary water and everything. And that on its own helps you to maintain those people that will soon become your old customers, those people that you will retain in the business. It's very important that you know how to keep them. We also have sowing of seeds, which is your initial email or post. This, now you have prepped the soil and your list is segmented. Now you know the people that need what you have to offer. So it's time for you to sow the seeds and send out your initial email, for instance, or your initial Instagram post, or your initial Facebook post. It can be anything, your initial LinkedIn post, whatever it is. There's a plan behind it, and it's because you've prepped your soil and you know that the world is ready to start seeing it bit by bit. Remember, progress over perfection. As you go on, it gets better. So keep posting, but it begins with the first post. Know what you want to maintain, know what you want to share with the world, and share it. Don't worry if you see some people not acting on your emails. Don't worry, just keep sending. The main goal of your email, for instance, I'm using email because that's actually a very, very potent way of sharing content. The major goal is to raise awareness of your products or your service to your leads, and to also get them, into your sales funnel. I'm sure you guys know about sales funnel. Sales funnel, read more about it, but it's basically just this funnel telling you the steps to getting that big client, how it begins. Don't worry, you can always hit me up and I'll tell you more about sales funnel, but that's not what we're talking about here. So these leads will hopefully become your customers, and then reaping the rewards. We know that for everything we do, we intend to reap rewards, and that's when you see your plants growing. So these are the ways that they are similar to planting. Leads nurturing is important and is one of the key parts to success in your business. So now, yeah, we already jumped the gun before. So content is definitely king, right? And this phrase was coined when Microsoft founder Bill Gates said something in his statement. Um, he said something in his statement. He said, the future of the internet, you know, is that the internet will become a marketplace for content, right? So the phrase content is king is not new, but because of the increased focus on content marketing strategies, the quote is used very often, and it just seems like everyone is talking about content is king, content is king, content is king. So now, why is content king? It's very important you know why content is king. Okay, now someone was asking me yesterday that, okay, content in 2021, 2020, 2021 is most certainly king, but do I think that it will still be king in 2022 and beyond? And I said, yes, it will continue to be well into 2022 and beyond. Content is going nowhere. People are hungry for content. Content is what people are looking for. Content is what makes people happy. It is a description of your product. It is a description of your idea. If you don't put the content out, nobody's going to know you exist. There are some channels I follow on YouTube, and it's because of the kind of content they share. It might just be a basic, just this simple family, this easygoing family, just sharing their everyday life. But because I love the realness behind it, that is why I will always go back to their channel, isn't it? So content will continue to be king, and it's going nowhere. I know the phrase "content is king" is actually, it sounds very cliche, but let's face it, content in all its various forms. If we look at the definition of king, king is preeminent, something preeminent in its class, right? So kingship talks about preeminence. Content is preeminent in our on the internet. In today's world, content is valid. Content is everything. This is content. Speak for Gold is content. You wake up in the morning, you whip out your phone just to check what's latest on Instagram. That's content. If people don't post, you won't wake up in the morning with so much excitement just to see what posts are trending. Of course, we know the hashtag check your DNA thing that is going around these days. That is content. No matter how bad it might look, that is content. And it is no longer the mainstream media alone. Media has become democratized. So that's why every single person can create content, and you have no business not creating content. So even writing of fake news is on this same table. I mean, we've talked about email, we've talked about websites, we've talked about Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat. These are all different platforms for pushing out your content. But you see people still pushing out fake news, and they if you check the demographics of people visiting it, you'll be alarmed, you'll be shocked. People want content. Of course, fake news is definitely not a practice I condone in the slightest, but I'm just trying to show you how important content creation is. So now I want to ask a question. Where do you go to if you need expert advice or you need to make some research? Which search engine do you visit? Can I see your responses? Google, yes. Google, of course, it has to be Google. That's the number one. That's the number one. Google, Google, Google. And the winner is Google. That's my first, that's the first search engine I visit if I need to search on any topic at all. Even making a bomb is on Google. It's that well, actually, but it's loaded for anything you need to know about. And according to research, Google alone answers up to 4 billion search queries every day. That's a lot. Over 4 billion search queries every single day. So you see that marketing strategy guide, that's content. You see the articles that diagnose your symptoms, maybe you're having symptoms of coronavirus. I reject that in Jesus' name for any one of us, but that's content. You go on Google, you type it out, and then you see the different things it brings up, right? That's content. I'm just trying to embed it in your head that you need, that content is here, and you need to take your own chunk, own it, and win, right? So we've already answered that. Yeah, that's Google. So how about context? Context. Can someone help me with that? Context. Do you have an idea of what context means? Anybody? Okay, while I wait, this is the truth. Content cannot thrive without context. So if you say content is king, then context is queen. You can see that already. Content is king, context is queen. You know why? Because content without context is useless. Context is what makes content meaningful to your target audience. Thank you, Orife. Thank you. Context is a specific situation to which content applies. Thank you, Nnamdi. Fantastic. So context packages your content. So if you have content and you're just sharing it, a few people might click it, but it doesn't really make sense, So context can be either your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on how you look at it. So I choose to say it this way. Content is the product. Context is the presentation. Content is the product. Context is the presentation, right? So you need your king alive to win a game of chess, right? Isn't it? But you have more success when your queen is in play. Yes or no? When your queen is still in play, it's more successful than when the king is in play. Am I right? The chess lovers in the house, tell me if I'm wrong. So that's exactly how it is. Oh, thank you, Tony. Yes, that is it. That's it. So you need your king alive to win a game of chess. You need your content alive to win, right? But you have more success when your context is in play. That is exactly what you need to know. So look at these two people. Can somebody tell me what's happening here? Just tell me what's happening here. Can someone just describe the situation here? Somebody is talking, another person is sleeping. Something is definitely wrong. You know why? Because most of the time, we're always bothered about what we want to say, instead of thinking of what they are interested in, what they want us to say. You need to think like the consumer. You need to think like the consumer. Oh, okay. Someone is asking me to reduce the size of my screen. All right, let me see how I can do that.
Not sure why that person needs that, because it looks perfect on my side. So I don't know if anybody else needed that, or it's a peculiar situation. Is it a peculiar? Yes, it looks okay. Yeah, sorry. Anybody else? Does it look okay for any? Okay. So I just need to know why. It looks perfect here. So there might be something that person needs to adjust. Maybe their screen, they should just shrink. They should, let me do this very quickly. So if you can see me, pinch your screen, because your screen may have widened without you knowing it. So pinch your screen and it should look okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. All right. So let's go back to context. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So as a content creator, you have no control, over anybody's specific situation. But with the right tools and strategies, you can have control over the context in which your content is received by determining the circumstances in which it is shared. And that is context marketing. Context marketing is the practice of delivering the right. Okay, I've activated it. All right. So content marketing is delivering the right marketing message to the right people at the right time. Look at what is happening here. These two men, I'm sure they started out talking, and then this other one is like, nah, I'm not having this. I'm sleeping. I feel sleepy and I'm going to sleep. I can't come and kill myself. I don't want to hear what you have to say, right? But he's just talking. Even with that one, he's still talking because he's not understanding what this listener. Taye, you want me to say that again? I'm not sure which you want me to say. Okay, are you talking about context marketing? Okay, so I'll just take that again. Okay, I'll just take that again. So context marketing is the practice of delivering the right marketing message to the right people at the right time. All right. So this man actually has something to say, but he's not bothered if it's what this other person wants to hear or if he's interested in what he has to say. So you need to understand your crowd. You need to understand what they want to hear. And that's where relevance is born. Okay. So fantastic. We're moving. Amazing. So here, content creation, planning, and strategy. I will just have to jump a few slides so that we can get everything. So what is content creation planning? Is basically you planning the process with which you want to create your content. The tactics, basically, it's the tactics you're employing, to push it out there. What is the strategy behind your content? How do you want to share it with people? How do you want to share it with the right audience? That's basically what content creation planning is. And then we have content creation strategy is the same thing. Planning, strategy. I mean, a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? So backing it up with the tactics, with the strategy is very much needed. So now this is the time you have to take to brainstorm. What is that big idea? What is that big content? There was something Eddie said before I was called in. He said some people like to make it so complicated. You have things already. You have a plan. You have a program on Instagram. And you want to keep building. You want to keep adding things to it. No, it doesn't happen like that. You need to know what your listeners or what your readers require. You need to know what they need. So you're not just packing it up, and then pushing it out and shoving it down their throats. I'm sorry, nobody's going to watch, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to go through your website if it's filled with different forms of, you know what I'm saying. So it's time for you to brainstorm. What is that big idea? And then the next one is, what problems are you solving? There's a reason you have that idea, isn't it? Now, what problem, what need is that idea feeling? What problems are you solving? It's important to identify this. In doing this, you are building a TA, which is target audience, and you're identifying who your buyer persona is. All right? And then who are your people? To whom are you sent? Who are your people? It's very important that you know this. And I would like to share the story in Mark chapter 2, verse 15 to 17. Yeah, to be precise. Jesus was at a feast in the house, and there were many publicans and sinners who sat with Jesus, and his disciples too, of course. But there were this other set of people in one corner. I choose to call them the naysayers. I actually love the naysayers. They complete the equation because you need somebody to come back and tell you, girl, I knew you were going to do it. And then you nod in your mind and say, yeah, right. I knew you were not there. So I love naysayers. When I have naysayers, I know that God will answer me faster. So these guys were just hanging around in one corner, looking at Jesus. I mean, wondering what he was doing with all of this. So these guys were the scribes, the Pharisees, and they were busy judging and accusing Jesus of eating and drinking with these publicans and sinners, right? So when Jesus heard what they were saying, he said something very amazing in a simple sentence. He said, he said, I am not here for those who are righteous, but I'm here for those in need of the physician. Right? Like that one liner for me does it for me per time. You need to find a one liner. What is your mission? What is your mandate? Stop packing it all up. Stop complicating it. It's either this or that. Identify who you've been sent to. And Jesus said, I came not to call the righteous, but to call the sinners to repentance. Now, that right there was Jesus, his mandate. That was his mission. He knew his TA. I wasn't going to bother about those that didn't need him. He knew those that needed to hear the message. He knew those that needed his deliverance. And that was what he came to the world to do. And he was here focused on that because he already knew. So you need to know what is his and focus. And no devil, born of man or demon, can stop you. All right? So what's your mission? Who is your TA? Who is in your TA? Who are you sent to? To whom are you sent? So who are the people with the problem? Who are they? You've identified all of these things. You have the idea. You have the big idea, the content creation idea. You know that, okay, this is the problem this my idea can solve. These are the people in this demographic. These are the people that need what I have to offer. So it's very important to identify that. And that's how you create your buyer persona. Your buyer persona helps you, to take your content to the right people. That's basically what it does. Your buyer persona is a fiction, like a fictional representation of your target customer, derived from maybe customer-based research, market research, or anything. It could have just been a survey that you took of, from say 100 people and all of that, but it's just a fictional representation of your target customer. And it helps when you give them a name. You will see that in a minute. It helps when you give them a name. And this fictional representation is just to help you target your content to the right people. All right. So you can see them waving at you. Hi. So let's go on quickly. So now this is one persona. I was running it with one of my clients who happens to be a real estate manager. And we were trying to create a persona for him. And this was what I came up with. So I decided to share with the house. So her name, we decided to give her Rachel, because this man is out there to help stay-at-home moms with housing issues. If they want to sell a house or if they want to buy a house, that's just what he does. And he's actually based in America. So I used that scenario. So her name is Rachel, and she's always on the run. You can see she's leaving already. And then she has a lifestyle. She's a stay-at-home mom. Her home life is busy. She's the only caregiver in her house. There's financial pressure because her husband is the only one who is earning a salary. The household income is $75,000 per annum. And she's not finding it easy. All right? We're building a persona for this, my clients. So you can use this also to help yourself. Use it to create your buyer persona. So now her background, she's 40 years old. She's married with 2 kids. You can see the picture up there. And there's one on the way. But she's still trying to be happy, right? She lives in Utah, in America. Now she has some challenges and some pain points. She needs to increase the size of the house because there's a baby on the way. She needs to sell the current house so that they can make some money, to buy a new house. But the market isn't really good. No thanks to the pandemic, right? How does she find her information? Don't worry, I'm going to share my slides with you, but I'm just trying to do good on the time. If I'm too fast, please tell me. I'm sorry if I'm too fast, but if I'm fast, just let me know. So now she finds information on the internet. Thank you so much, Orisha Shola, thank you so much. Thank you. She's a heavy user of the internet. She's always on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. And her business background is that she has a degree in marketing. Her husband has a high-paying job, and she wants to set up an e-commerce website. So you see, for Frank, the name of my client, this is his buyer persona. This is the person he's in business for. When you create it like this, it makes it easier for you. It makes it easier for you to target them. It's very important. Okay, thank you, Nyobon. Good speed. Okay. All right. So you can see her. She has her different personalities because of her life. But hey, we are here to help her. And you can see Rachel is dancing. She's happy because solution has come. She's not going to be the grumpy housewife that we started with, the grumpy housewife that is always in a hurry. At least now she has time to make her hair because someone has provided solution for her. Someone has identified that she's out there and he has created a solution. So create your own persona. Create your own persona. It's very easy. I used all of this just so that it's not all words. So you can see that you can actually create. Just download something that represents the person you want to solve her problems or his problems. Just download something that replicates, something that represents the ideal audience for you. And then look at their ages. I say this all the time. You are sent, but you're not sent to everyone. You're not God. God handles everything. You are sent, but you're not sent to everyone. You're being sent to a particular set of people. Identify them and meet their needs. And you will find out that struggle will be a thing of the past. All right? So there are helpful tools for creating a buyer persona. So I'm going to help you with that quickly. We have SurveyMonkey. So SurveyMonkey is basically, how should I say it? It's either SurveyMonkey or Google Form actually. But these tools help you to get data from your existing customers. Okay, so either one will work just fine. And they're free to use. So all you need to do is set up the questions and Rachel looks really happy now. So set up the questions and share it with your existing clients. And then the next one is Crazy Egg or Inspectlet or Whoop. You can have all of these apps. They will help you create surveys that will bring results. Okay, they will help you with surveys that will bring results. Let me take that again. SurveyMonkey, Google Forms, Crazy Egg, Whoopra, Inspectlet. All right. So now that you now understand why you're existing in business, in that particular business, you now know why your business is existing. You know who your business is existing for, and you've asked the questions, and now you have a buyer persona. But let me say it here. If you don't have a target audience yet, you have to do that first. Target audience is different from your buyer persona. Target audience is everything. Like you have that picture of all the people you want to serve. But buyer persona is a particular segment in your target audience. Just in case you're serving so many people, you need to create your target audience first. It's very easy. The previous speakers touched on that. Create your TA and you will find your buyer persona there. So which format do you want to disseminate this information, this content to your people? Now you know that, oh, this is the content and this is how I want to share it. And these are the people that I want to share it to. So which format do you want to share it, say, through blog posts, social media posts, webinars, video content, infographics, podcasts, photos? How do you want to share it? How do you want to share it? It's very important to identify the format with which these people would love to listen to you or watch you. And now the next is, what platforms can you find your people? They associate somewhere, they meet somewhere, they talk somewhere. You find these people somewhere. So identify what platforms. Are they on Instagram, and at what time? What time are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? What time of the day? You have so many platforms you can share. Even radio ads, believe me, is content. So if you want to meet a particular number of people, say you want to teach people on makeup artistry and all of that, and you want to actually advertise on radio, you have to look for one of those programs that, that take place at the time your people tune in to the radio. It's very important that you identify what platform. Don't struggle anymore. Stop the struggle. Identify where they are and meet them there. All right. So I'm just going to take you quickly through the content creation process. And I mean, I'm sure you're wondering right now, RM, you've told me everything. Okay, don't worry, I got you. I'll teach you just how to create content in a minute. So first step is do some SEO research. Can someone tell me what SEO stands for? I want to have one response. SEO. Okay, it means search engine optimization. What it basically means is that through SEO, you can go on Google. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Bukola. Through the SEO search, you can actually find out the most researched topics on the internet. So let's say you're into fashion and you want to know what type of bag, I'm just saying, what type of bag people always want to buy. All you need to do is go on Google and type the most, the most purchased bag, the most purchased designer bag. And when you find that out, it helps you identify that, okay, people love the Prada bags. Okay, so if people love Prada bags, how do I reach the people so that they can buy this other brand that I want to sell? Will they buy your brand? It's just like Rachel. They're earning $75,000 every year. By the time, after paying for bills and everything, they have about $30,000 left. And you're coming with your $25,000 bag. Believe me, Rachel is not going to buy it. That's not your client. She's not your client because she can't afford it, except you want her to buy and owe you. Bring, I'll pay you tomorrow. If it's okay with you, fine. That tomorrow is not going to come in this nearest time. I pray for Rachel, but that Rachel is actually not in your TA because you're selling $25,000 bags. It means you need to look for people with higher income. So do that SEO research and it shows you the search volume of a specific keyword phrase. All right. That way, you know that you're hitting it and all of that. Okay. So the next step is idea to reality. Now you're taking note of all of the keywords. You want to brainstorm the content and all of that, but create a topic cluster model. I need to round up quickly. Topic cluster model is basically you having a main content that you want to build around. So you go on the internet and search for a particular topic, and that topic leads you to other topics. So let's say, this is a topic cluster model for workout routines. You have workout routines to increase strength, workout routines to get abs. So you're not just coming out with workout routines. You need to have the things that, form a model around it. So look for different, I just came up with about 6 of them here, workout routines to lose fat and all of that. So this way, you know that you're never, you won't run out of content this way. You won't run out of content this way. So search for the accompanying topics, build your own topic cluster model, and and build your calendar. So now apps to use for your editorial calendar, you have your Google Docs, you have your Catpost, you have your Trello, and you have your Airtable. These apps, will help you build your editorial calendar effectively. All right. So the next step is write it down. Write it in your tables, and these are the guidelines. Write to your own people. Don't write for yourself. Write as if you are your audience. Use titles. Use meta descriptions. Use teasers that will be relatable. You need to be relatable. Create something unique. Be relatable to your audience and derive value from your content. The first step is editing your content. You need to put out the right words. You don't want to have wrong things, put together. Grammarly helps you to do that. You can download Grammarly on your laptop. Hemingway Post helps you to do that, to edit your content. And the 5th step is upload your content. Now you're done. Publish it on your selected platforms. And yes, that helps you. So I've actually talked about context before, giving a total package to your content. So these are just short few ways just to help you know your audience. We'll be talking about that. Consider their pain points and obstacles, create supportive content, use personalization tags, and it will help put some context into your content. So now I have a few tools that I put together. These tools can actually help you with your content creation. You have Canva. Canva is amazing, beautiful. Canva is good to use, easy to use. You have Giphy. Giphy is amazing. GIFs own the moment. We don't use emoticons anymore. We use GIFs. And Giphy will help you create the kind of GIFs you want to share. The next is Vidyard. Vidyard is amazing for video creation. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Then we have Otter, OTTER. This app helps you, just in case you have an idea. Otter helps you to record that particular idea. You know how you remember something, you get this, there's this rema that comes to you, and then a few minutes later you forget. But Otter helps you to record it right there. Just pick up your phone. If you have the Otter app, pick up your phone, record the words, and you know what it does? It transcribes for you. So while you're talking, it's typing it out, and then you just literally basically edit the few things you need to edit and share. So Otter is a good must-have. Then we have Anchor. For those who want to go into podcasting, Anchor is awesome to begin with. With Anchor, you can record all of your voice notes and share and share and share. Oh, amazing, Brother Day. Awesome, awesome. Otter is awesome. So start creating your content now. You have no excuse. And I have just a 1-minute video to show you, just in case you're wondering, okay, what content do I put out? It could just be words. It could just be images. You don't have to think too hard about it. Just that. But I want to show you a short video that I put together from the last, from the Jumpstart we had last week. Yeah, that's a mini advert for those who intend to join Jumpstart. That's it. But I won't show all the videos now. Yeah, but that's it. So take action. The key to success is action. That's it. Start now. But I want to share a poem just to round up. Start where you are. Start with fear. Start with pain. Start with doubt. Start with your hands shaking. Start with your voice trembling. But start where you start and don't stop. Start where you have, start where you are with what you have. Just start. No more excuses. Start. And that brings us to the end of our session. Thank you very much for having me.